Terrell in the King James Bible University, straight out of Compton. And today's lesson is titled Abide in the Word of Remembrance, Part 2. We must take heed and see the example that our forefathers left for us to remember and abide in the book of remembrance, which is a blessing that knowledge and wisdom given of the word. During times of trial, times of proving and examining times, Jehovah was Yahweh's comfort, strength, peace, and voice of guidance and endurance through all the fools of derision and tribulations. By the word of faith, the prophet fulfilled his duty of giving the word that abided in him to those that was lacking, but sent by the Father for redemption and renewing the covenant that was once given to the people chosen to show forth the praise and glory of their King and Prince of righteousness. So let's go to Psalms chapter 89, verse 15 through 24, 28, and 34 through 36. So blessed, knowledge and wisdom is given, is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Spirit of God, in the light of thy countenance. In thy way shall they rejoice all the day, and in thy righteousness shall they be exalted. For thou art, for thou word, the glory. So the glory is on page 1532, and its brightness, eternal, power, holiness, and manifestation. So for thou word, the power, or the holiness, or the manifestation, or the brightness of their strength. Because we can only be strong through that word, through Jehovah. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is ready to combat against the wickedness of this world and to keep us strong. And in thy favor, our horn shall be exalted. For the Spirit of God is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our King. So don't ever think that a man is our king. Because if you do, you're going mad. You're in confusion. You're part of the world that desires a king over them. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 6. Or let's start at 5. Or let's start at 4 so we can get the whole matter of what happened. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said unto him, Behold, remember, thou art thou perfection and beauty old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge, to teach us like all the nations. Verse 6, But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Spirit of God. abiding in that word. And the Spirit of God said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people, and all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. So we see, once we do this, we're rejecting the Spirit of God to be our King, Jehovah. So let's go back to Samuel 89:18. For the Spirit of God is our defense, full stop, and the Holy One of Israel is our King. So we shouldn't want another king. Just like those that was in Israel in 1 Samuel. So this is something we can learn from by abiding in this word of remembrance. Verse 19, then thou spakest in vision. So let's see what that vision is. It's on page 1594, and it's revelation, prophecy, or oracle. Revelation is on page 1574, and it's divine communication, truth, unveiling, prophecy. Sorry about that. Truth, unveiling, and prophecy. And truth is on page 1592, and it's the knowledge, honesty, faithful, righteousness, integrity, perfect. And oracle is on page 1562. It's also divine communication, revelation, gospel, which is a message, light, illumination, or inspiration. And this took me to 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14 through 17. And it says, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned, and hast been assured of, abiding in that word of remembrance, knowing of whom thou hast learned them, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures. Because once we was baptized, we was born again unto that little child, needing the sincere milk. And then we was weaned off that milk to get that understanding of that doctrine, the bread of life, which we're going to see in a little bit. A child that thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith. So remember this, because this is what we should be obtaining out of everything that we're learning. That faith, that hope in the expectations of things unseen but are to come, which is in the anointed one of salvation. are the anointed way of salvation. This the kicker. 16. All scripture is given by inspiration. That oracle, which was a vision, then thou spakest in vision to thy Holy One. That Holy One is Christ. All scripture is given by inspiration of God, of our guide, and it is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. So that truth, all scripture is given by that vision of God. So we must put on that spiritual eyes so that we can see the profit of doctrine, that reproof, that correction, for instruction in righteousness. Because there's no way we can obtain the instructions in righteousness if we are still carnally minded. Verse 17, that the man of Jehovah may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. This should be a fringe for us, because we all want to be perfected in this word. And the only way we can be is by abiding in that word of remembrance. Thoroughly furnished. That vessel, that house, that tabernacle that we are, should be thoroughly furnished unto all good works, serving him in spirit and in truth. John 4:24. All right, let's start at 23. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. And we see now truth is the knowledge and honesty, faithful in the righteousness, integrity, to be perfect in every good works. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God, the Word, the Spirit of the Spirit of Yahweh, our guide, is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That knowledge, that honesty, that faithfulness, righteousness, integrity, and in perfection of all good works. This is the only way we can become that servant. Going back to 89 and 19, then thou spakest in vision to thy Holy One, and says, I have laid help upon one that is mighty. I have exalted one chosen out of the people. I have found David. David is on page 1499, and it's the beloved, our promised one, the promised one, my servant. With my holy oil have I anointed him, with whom my hand shall be established. Established is on page 1509. Oh, I'm sorry. Established is 1529, and is found. My power shall be found, with whom my power shall be found. Through that word, mine arm also shall strengthen him. Those prophets, that's going to be the mouthpiece of that word. The enemy, verse 22, the enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him. Because in 18, the Spirit of God is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our king. 19b, 19c, I have laid help upon one that is mighty. 21, with whom my power shall be established, shall be found. Mine arm also shall strengthen him. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him, because he's going to be with us, and we with him. We're going to be abiding in that word, and that word is going to be abiding in us to bring us back to remembrance of these things, that he is our king, he is our savior, and none can come upon us, can afflict us. 23, and I will beat down his foes before in the presence of his face, and plague them that hate him, because vengeance is his. Vengeance is of the Spirit of God, so we don't have to fight, but endure and hold fast to the righteousness and promise of our Creator. Isaiah 63 and 4. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Let's hit 4. Let's hit 5 too. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Uphold is established, and that's on page 1509. Oh, I'm sorry. Uphold is 1593, and that's to support, sustain, protect, promise, and fulfill. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. Let's go back to Psalms 89 and 22. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him. Why? 21. With whom mine power shall be established, mine arm also shall strengthen him. The same thing we seen over here in verse 5 of Isaiah chapter 63. 23, Psalms 89 verse 23, and I will beat down his foes before his face, and plague them that hate him. 24, but my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my way shall his horn be exalted. So let's see that vengeance. Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them Make haste. Ezekiel 25 and 17. And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am the Spirit of God, when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. So don't get caught on the wrong side of the plumb line. We must abide in this word of remembrance so that we can understand this faithfulness and mercy. So let's go to John. Oh no, I'm just tripping. I'm supposed to go down to 28. My mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. 34 through 36. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that is gone out of my lips. Once have I sworn by my holiness that I will not lie unto David. His seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before me. So we want to be one of those promised ones. If we have that promised one in us, that word of truth, abiding in us, with us doing diligent study and having that desire, not being forced to do anything, but it should be our desire to want to serve our Creator, to be one of His servants, not because you're scared of what's going to happen to you if you don't do it, but it should come natural. Hebrews 10 and 1. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices, those established covenants, the offerings, the oblation, the atonement, which is on page 1576, which they offer year by year, continually make the comers thereunto perfect. So this sacrifice is an atonement, which is on page 1480. It's the reconciliation, redemption, sacrifice to our God, amends, forgiveness. Hey, recording. I'll call you back after So for the law having a shadow, for the law having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never with those oblations, atonement, the reconciliation, redemption, which they offered year by year, continually make the comers thereunto perfect. Because we shouldn't be abiding in the law of the flesh. This is what we do when we're in the flesh. We sacrifice year by year, continually. But when we're in the law of the Spirit, we worship in spirit and truth. We only do it one time. We learn and we understand what we need to do to serve Him, not with lip service, but with a ready mind, through that truth, the knowledge, the honesty, faithful righteousness, integrity, and perfect works that is given by that vision, that prophecy, that revelation, or the oracles, so that we can show forth His praise, that glory, the brightness, His eternal, the power and His manifestation of that holiness. We must watch what type of tribute we present unto Jehovah, because some tributes can be willingly and others are of an obligation, which is of the ground and unacceptable. And let's go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 3 through 7. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Spirit of God. And guess what he would have done? He would have kept doing it year by year, continually, not making him thereunto perfect. And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Spirit of God had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect, not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell, because he wasn't abiding in that word. He was doing whatever came to his mind was right, not the righteousness of Jehovah. And the Spirit of God said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. So we got to understand this. This is for all of us. He's setting a plumb line. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. You're going to do your own desires, and they're going to rule over you. They're going to put your mind in bondage so that Jehovah won't be your king. You will believe that you're your own king, and you can bring whatever you feel is righteous in your own eyes. Isaiah 64 verse 6. Let's start at 5. Thou meetest him that rejoiceth and work of righteousness, those that remember thee in the ways. Behold, remember thou art wroth, for we have sinned, and those is continuous, and we shall be saved. We should be continuing in the works of righteousness, that spirit and that truth, to remember thee in thy ways. Verse 6. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as a filthy rags, and we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away. This is what happened to Cain. But let's see the flip side. Deuteronomy 6, 24 and 25. Deuteronomy chapter 6, 24, verse 24 and 25. And the Spirit of God commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear, to desire the Spirit of God our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Spirit of God our God, as he hath commanded us. So it's no mystery. We just have to remember and abide in this word, because this is what's going to keep us alive. It will never forsake us. Isaiah 34 and 16. It will never fail. 16 and 17. Seek ye out of the book of the Spirit of God and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded it, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he hath cast the lot for them, and his power hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein. So we seen what happened in Genesis. Let's go to Matthew 22, verse 15 down to 22. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou perfection and beauty true, and teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, For thou regardest not the person of men. So they want to puff him up and then try to get him. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? Because like I said, we got to watch what type of tribute we present unto Jehovah. Because some tributes can be willingly, of a willful mind, and others are of an obligation, which is of the ground and unacceptable to Jehovah. Because if we try to give this tribute, which is of Caesar, unto Jehovah, will be just like Cain, giving fruit to the ground. Those filthy rags, filthy lucre, same thing. Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But salvation perceived their wickedness, and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? It doesn't belong to Jehovah. It belongs to the world. They say unto him, Caesar's. Then said he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's. Because he don't want our righteousness. He want a willing heart, a body. And unto Jehovah, Yahweh, the word of righteousness, the thing that are God's. Verse 22, when they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. And that's taking us back to that Psalms verse. Psalms 89. For the Spirit, and 18, for the Spirit of God is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our King. But Caesar is their king. So you render the things to Caesar that belongs to Caesar. We don't have anything that belongs to Caesar. Our bodies belong to Jehovah, which is our defense from these wicked ones. With whom, verse 21, with whom my power shall be established. Mine arm also shall strengthen him. 22, the enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the sons of wickedness afflict him. 23, and I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him. 24, but my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my way shall his horn be exalted. Because you see, they was trying to exalt him when they said this to him. In 16, and they sent out unto him their disciples with Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of Jehovah in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? It don't matter what we think. It's what we know to be true. This word of remembrance and abiding in it. So Let's hit some more. So let's go back to Hebrews 10 and 1 and read that again. Because we shouldn't be carnal minded. I'm tripping. Hebrews 10 and 1. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offer year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect. They trying to give Caesar year by year money. They give money year by year continually, and it's never going to make them perfect. It's leading them the opposite direction of Jehovah's perfection, because Jehovah doesn't dwell in those temples made with hands, nor does he accept or require a sacrifice. Let's go to it. Verse 3, or let's go to 2. For then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers once purged should have had no more conscience of sins, because we should be living in that spirit, worshiping in spirit and in truth. And we must remember what that truth is: the knowledge, honesty, faithful, righteousness, integrity, and to be perfect in his way, not our own way. There's no perfection in the flesh. That's why verse 3, but in those sacrifices, those established covenants, those atonements of reconciliation or forgiveness, there is a remembrance again made of sins every year, because you didn't do it with a willing mind. You did it just because of traditions, because somebody told you or you read it that we're supposed to have a sacrifice every year, a feast. And that's what the world does. They go year by year. The Hebrews, the camps, the false Hebrews that are in the camps, they sacrifice a lamb unlawfully year by year, but they never sacrifice their own mind, their bodies, their minds, so that the remembrance of sin can be destroyed, circumcised out of their hearts. But instead, they do it as a ritual. So there is a remembrance again made of sins every year, because they're stayed in that sin. They're still in that carnal mind, that flesh of that filthy rag. For it is, verse 4, for it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats shall take away sins. Verse 5 of Hebrews 10. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he said, sacrifice, establish a covenant, and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me, that living gift. In burnt offerings and in sacrifice for sin thou hast had no pleasure, because you're doing it carnally. You're doing it of a fleshly mind instead of having that ready mind that is of faith and hope, the promise to come. this is what that mind should be. In verse 7, then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Jehovah. Because that that book will not fail. Isaiah 34:16, it's never fail us. If so, we got to do it the right. We got to get this understanding to seek ye out of the book of the Spirit of God. I come in the volume of the book. We must find ourselves and abide in it and read. No one of these shall fail. Jehovah doesn't require us to make carnal sacrifices nor to live in the law of flesh, but we must serve our Creator in spirit and truth with a voluntary, cheerful, freely given offering or tribute with a ready and steadfast mind, being able to bear the word of remembrance in our mind with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. Romans 12:1-2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Jehovah, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto Jehovah, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, carnally doing things, thinking they're going to please us, our spirit, our God, the spirit of righteousness, the spirit of wisdom. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you won't have the conscience of sin, that ye may prove what is that good, those good works that bring us unto perfection, and acceptable and perfect will of Jehovah. Are we doing service of lips and not bringing forth a ready mind, able to serve in sincerity and truth? Are we just on this journey for the benefits of salvation and what we think we believe to see written on paper? Or is it an actual desire of ours to make it right and remember how we once was in the world of darkness and actually want to make a change and serve our Father and Mother through the faith and the wisdom given through His messengers? We must make a decision, because our heart is seen by Jehovah, and He will recompense if we tribute for naught, as we once did in the churches of damnation. Or are we surrendering to make an atonement and be renewed and revived by abiding in His beauty of spirit and truth? So looking upon flesh has no benefit, but having the understanding that it's the Spirit that quickens us and enlightens us to be able to walk in His perfection is the key for enduring this journey in His Word, which is spirit and life. John 6:63-65. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. But there are some of you that believe not. For salvation knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray Him. And He said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me, except it were given unto him of my Creator, my Father. Wisdom of Solomon 18:15, chapter 18, verse 15 through 16 and 21 through 23. This is that same word that quickens us. Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction, and brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death. And it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. 21 through 23. For then the blameless man made haste, and stood forth to defend them, and bringing the shield of his proper ministry, even prayer and the propitiation of incense, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end, declaring that he was thy servant. 22 through 23. So he overcame the destroyer, not with strength of body, nor force of arms, but with a word subdued him that punished, alleging the oaths and covenants made with the fathers. For when the dead were now fallen down by heaps one upon another, standing between he stayed the wrath, and parted the way to the living. Isaiah 53, verse 1, 3, 6 through 7, and 12. Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Spirit of God revealed? He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. 6 through 7. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Spirit of God hath laid on him the iniquity of us all, the acts of sin of us all, to bear us with that word of redemption, that word of salvation. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearer is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. 12. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors. And he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. Let's go to John chapter 6. Let's read 1 down to 22 and 24 through 42, so we can get this picture. After these things, salvation went over the sea of Galilee, which is the sea of Tiberias, and a great multitude followed him, because they saw his miracles, which he did on them that were diseased. Looking at the man. And Jesus went up into a mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. And the Passover, a feast of the Jews, was nigh. When Jesus then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company come unto him, he said unto Philip, Whence shall we buy bread, that these may eat? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. You're supposed to render to Caesar what is the Caesar's. A carnal mind sure isn't going to feed nobody. But if we abide in that word, that spirit worship in spirit and in truth, we can fill a multitude of those that are lacking this wisdom, so we can be that light unto the world. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, there is a lad here, which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many? Being carnal minded, not knowing what the 5 barley loaves function was, and the 2 small fishes. And salvation said, make the man sit down. Now there was much grass in the place. That grass is flesh. And we can see that 1 Peter 1 and 24. 1 Peter 1 and 24. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. 25. But the word of the Creator endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. That word. He was giving us that word to eat that can have us endure forever. That endure is page 1507. It's perseverance, withstand, bear, abide, to steadfast, and persevere. Bear is page 1483, and is to carry, endure, or bring forth. Now there was much grass, flesh, carnal-minded men in the place. So the men sat down in number about 5,000. And salvation took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down. And likewise of the fishes as much as they would. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that salvation did, but they was looking upon that man, the prophet, said, this is of a truth that prophet that should come into the world. When salvation therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force, so they want to tribute, they want to give tribute to him like they do Caesar, to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone, because he didn't want to reject and be omitted from the book of life. He used wisdom always and abided in that word of remembrance, the things he learned and who he learned them from. And when even was now come, his disciples went down unto the sea. They went partying and entered into a ship and went over the sea toward Capernaum. And it was now dark, and salvation was not come to them. And the sea arose by reason of a great wind that blew. So when they had rowed about 25 or 30 furlongs, they see salvation walking on the sea, and drawing nigh unto the ship, and they were afraid. But he said unto them, It is I, be not afraid. Then they willingly received him into the ship. I hope we see. Hope we have eyes to see. They was willingly received him into the ship, and immediately the ship was at the land whither they went. That salvation is the only thing that word is the only thing that can save us, redeem us from out of our troubles and torments. But with a carnal mind, you're going to be afraid. You ain't going to be willingly to receive him, because you're going to be in your own mind, not with a ready and willing mind to receive and serve, surrender, submit to him. So that word isn't going to abide with you, and you're not going to abide with the word that endures forever. Right here, 1 Peter 1:25, but the word of the Creator endure forever. And this is the word which by the gospel, that message is preached, or that oracle is preached unto you. That vision. You think you're just reading words on a paper. No, it's life. This is our life. This is our salvation. We must endure and abide in this word. It's like our pastor Michael Johnson always say, as long we can go as deep as we want to go. He can take us there. But we can't be afraid, fearful, having them trembling heart, a fearful mind. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save only that one whereunto his disciples were entered, and that salvation went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread, learn that doctrine, after the Creator had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that salvation was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum, seeking for salvation. But was it for a willing mind, or was it just for carnal, for their what I can say, for their prosperity, for their righteousness? Verse 25, and when they have found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Salvation answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. Like carnal, big backs. All they care about is their own desires. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the servant of man shall give unto you. For him hath Jehovah, or Yahweh, for him that Yahweh, the Creator, sealed, the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do, that we might work the works of Jehovah of that word? Salvation answered and said unto them, This is the work of Jehovah, of Yahweh, that word, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. They said therefore unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What dost thou work? Having that carnal mind. They don't have any faith. They got to see something. Just like everyone else in this world. They got to see a miracle happen for them to believe. Instead of just having that ready mind, understanding this word. Our fathers did eat manna in the desert. So they, just like they say in the church, people that's in the church, our fathers and our mothers been in church all their life, and they doing good, they prospering, they got generational wealth. As it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Speaking about Moses, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Not understanding nothing. Carnal minded. Then salvation said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father, Yahweh, giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Yahweh is he which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world. 34. Then said they unto him, Creator, evermore give us this bread. But you don't deserve that bread. You only want it because you see it. And salvation said unto them, I am the bread of life. Flipping if they don't understand this. That doctrine is coming from his mouth. That word. He opened not his mouth, but that word spoke through that man. That voice is what opened the mouth. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I say unto you, that ye also have seen me and believe not. And that brings me to John 20, verse 29. Salvation said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. But they they completely carnal. That you have seen me and believe not. Thomas seen him, and believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed, speaking about those that have faith. They had none. Because he spoke to them right here and said, "But I said unto you that ye also have seen me, and believe not." Complete contrary heart. So let's go down some more. 37. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Father's will which hath sent me, that of all which he hath given me I should lose nothing. Because that word is going to be abiding in us, and it's going to have us to endure, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which seeth the servant and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day. Here it come, scoffers. The Jews then murmured at him, because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, Is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? Having that carnal mind, not understanding it's the words that came out of his mouth. Let's go to it. Oh, here we go. Deuteronomy 18 and 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee. So we know that he was a man, that Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. Exodus 23:21. Let's start 20. Behold, remember, I send an angel, a messenger before thee, to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my way is in him. My way is in him. John 14 and 6. Salvation said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So that word got to abide in you, and you can abide in that word, and you can be redeemed, be the son, a servant. And they said, 43. Salvation therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not among yourselves. All right. So let's, like I said, looking upon the flesh has no benefit, but having the understanding that it's the Spirit that quickens us and enlightens us to be able to walk in His perfection is the key for enduring this journey on in His Word, which is Spirit and life. Let's hit this last one, Luke. I'm gonna have to make a part 3. I think I might. I'm not sure. Luke 4, 4 through 8. And salvation answered him, saying, it is written, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of Jehovah, or but by every word of Yahweh, which is that word of righteousness. And the devil taking him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. If thou wilt worship me, all shall be thine. And salvation answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Creator thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So what tribute are you giving? A carnal tribute, a tribute of your flesh and what you think is right? Or have you submitted and circumcised your flesh so that you can abide in this word, and this word of remembrance is what you contribute. You can labor. That submission is unto that word, unto that spirit, that way of life, which is in Jehovah, with a willing mind, voluntary, freely, cheerful, and gladly mind, which is on page 1596. So I hope we got some understanding. And this is Evangelist Smith with the House of the Lost Sheep of Israel, the King James Bible University, straight out of Compton. And we are not affiliated nor associated nor brethren with anyone that teach contrary to the precepts written in Scripture of the 1611 King James Bible. This platform is separated from all Bible camp Pharisees groups that falsely claim the heritage of Israel and teach the One West doctrine invented by men's knowledge and vain opinions. We also despise, refuse, and rebuke the faith of any theological Christian doctrine that are taught in seminary schools ordained by men. Any worldly views of biblical doctrine is not condoned on this platform. We have made it clear and simple that we use precepts commanded by our Creator, and through the wisdom given, we preach biblical law. We diligently seek and search out the scriptures for matters that concern the promise of life through salvation and the doctrine of Jehovah that guides us toward the Father of righteousness. Through the precepts we abhor every false way of man that lead to deception, blasphemy, and destruction for the lack of wisdom. And I would like to say shalom.
G-O-D, that's why the girls them love me. Lord, 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 now go pay them for it, yeah. Lord, oh me done pay for it. Lord, 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 now go really credit. That's why me pay full for it. Lord, 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 C-O-D, yeah. Yes, upon delivery. Oh, 'cause I'm a man who don't really credit, so me don't pay the hit.